What's up, guys? Welcome to our first best of review. Our first video will be on Opus IV. And we're just going to jump right into it. My name is Gabriel.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're going to start off with Fire. So, for my best Fire card, I picked it as Cyan. And you picked it as Cyan. I don't know. I think this card is just super good, not only because it's... the curve is fantastic. 7K for 3 cost is just good by itself. The fact that it just, as a base, has Brave, phenomenal.
Yep.
So it's just a good power forward to have, let alone its additional effects. The fact that you can combo it with other FF6 forwards, which are also very strong.
Most of them.
Is just pretty crazy. And they just all gain Brave. And then its special is crazy.
So good.
It's so stupidly good. So the fact that it has no cost, all you have to have is an active Cyan and a second Cyan, and then you can just destroy any of their cards. And what's crazy is you can do it during like the end of your turn, in theory, right?
I said end of their turn is better because it's like immediately afterwards, or on your draw or whatever. So you can pretty much do it whenever.
Yeah, at the beginning of your... So at the end of their turn, as long as you still have Cyan active, you can just do that. And then there's really nothing they can do to stop that.
Especially if they've exhausted resources on their turn too, yeah.
So it's just the fact that you can break any card, and it's also just such good power curve to me is just...
Dude, giving other forwards Brave is great. The like 6 or 7 drop Goblin does that, but you need to take 6 damage, which is obviously a little bit bad. You don't want a lot of damage.
True. And yeah, it is specific to FF6 forwards, but there's quite a bit of FF6 forwards that you can mesh this with.
And there's like 2 other pretty decent fire ones as well. Yeah.
So like, and you could very easily put those into even not necessarily an FF6 deck. Yeah. I mean, I think that this card is good regardless of whether you have other FF6 cards even in your deck. Yeah. All right, my second is Goblin. Your second is
also
Goblin,
dude. Yeah.
Why do you think it's so good?
Well, first of all, just like efficiency, fantastic because you pay 1 and draw a card. That already pays for itself. 1 mana over. Not only that, but just getting haste anytime during a turn can be fantastic. If you use some resources to maybe destroy something, and then give something that you just played haste that they didn't previously think would maybe attack, pretty good. Like I said, it's just really like just a huge efficiency play. And then if you have multiple goblins out, you draw a bunch of resources, you can just play a really big turn, and it helps you out.
And the fact that you don't have to pay anything to activate this card. It's just the initial. You put it down, and at any point in the duel, you can use it. I mean, hell, if you even just need a card, you could break it in theory.
Yeah.
So I mean, you tap that for. I mean, in theory, you could just do this the turn you put it out, just to draw a card. Just tap for 1 mana, draw a card.
Recycling is always really good, especially if cards aren't that useful.
So I mean, regardless of. I mean, the haste by itself is phenomenal, but just the 1 cost for a card is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Our thirds.
Finally different, dude.
Okay. Finally got some different ones. I picked Marsh, and you picked...
Lednar. I'm hoping that's how you say that.
Okay. So why'd you pick Lednar?
Obviously, like most of the other tactics cards, it's just... super valuable. I mean, anytime you make someone pay more than what they need to pay for something, it's just going to always come out in your favor. In theory, she is one of the strongest blockers in the game. Or attacker as well. Because if they have an empty hand and maybe they used their backups for something else, you can just block everything in a turn. Just repeatedly, since she can't be broken, which is fantastic. The summon thing, I think, is not as busted as like if you were blocking, but I mean, since you have to be targeted, yeah. And then even if you get targeted, sometimes you're not going to be broken. Sometimes you'll be bounced to hand or just removed from field. So I think it's not as good. It's still a really good effect, though. A lot of things in like fire or lightning that deal damage, you can pretty much just stop that. So yeah, it's just a really efficient card.
The one thing that like about the Lednar card that makes me iffy is just the fact that like I don't know. Let's say they if you can deal with it, it's very easy to deal with. Now, granted, you never have to block with it, or you never have to attack with it.
Unless when it's good for you to do so.
Unless when it's good for you, yeah. But let's say they, I don't know. It's definitely a good card, but like it seems you have to have the right alignment to really make it pay off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But definitely a really
strong card. Yeah.
I picked Marsh. Marsh just seems really good because, I mean, you can attack without really attacking. So the fact that you
still
can
have to attack the easy ability.
Yeah. Well, you can use some
attack
something.
Yeah, I got it.
And the fact that it's not, it doesn't specify another element. So in theory, you could party attack from a different element.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty valuable.
Oh, I never really thought of it that way. Yeah, that's really cool.
So let's say you have like you don't have enough to break something, and you need to party attack to attack. This allows you to do that, and then it also allows you to keep that other card.
Yeah.
Just at the cost of doubling it. Yeah. So I think it's. I don't know. I think it's really good. Obviously, it matches mana or power curve.
Yeah, 3 for 5.
So 3 for 7. So I just thought it was a really good staple forward. Yeah. Especially in, like I said, a dual or more color deck.
Yeah.
And then my honorable mention is General Leo.
Mine should be the one after that. Yep.
And yours is Sabine.
Sabine, yeah.
I was pretty on the fence about Sabine or General Leo. For me, I ended up picking General Leo just because. So first of all, he's curve 7K 4/3. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but he essentially has 9K when he attacks. So very strong to curve. His special is really good, but it's not like game changing. The good thing is that like if they have a lot of weaker cards, 5K is a lot. And then if you have follow-up damage, say you're running like a wind deck. Wind decks have a lot of deal damage to the entire field. Mm-hmm. So if you combo this with like the new Archer card, which maybe we'll talk about later, or a Dancer, something like that just does damage to the whole field, I just think it's potentially a really good wipe card. So.
Yeah. Well, I chose Sabine for like obvious reasons. He has a lot of really strong abilities. The only reason I didn't put him in the top 3 is because he's pretty specific to when he's attacking. He has to be really aggressive, or you won't get full usage out of him. Yeah. Especially like that special is really, really strong, but you have to be attacking.
Yeah.
In theory, this is just, a board wipe. Deal 8K to all forwards. That's really strong. Yep. Cost 1 less than Shantoto in theory, but obviously you have to have the forward out. And then he himself can use that in conjunction with his plus 2K boost to not kill himself with that ability, which is really cool. Yep. So yeah, I thought it was really, really, really strong, but like it's kind of just only in specific situations.
Yeah. True. So it's basically a field wipe forward as long as you can get this special off. It'd be if you use his passive and the special, it'd be 6 cost, right? Plus 8, the special.
Well, yeah, sorry, 8 in theory.
So, that's about par for a field wipe, and the fact that you get to keep your forward, who's very powerful forward
strong, yeah.
in his own regard. Do you think his basic ability is useful in any sense?
I think perhaps. Well, like what immediately came to mind is Fire Earth deck. You might want to use this because Earth has a lot of really like hard to kill forwards, and this just adds to that. So it's really cool because like it enters the field instead of just attacking. So you get this effect in both of those cases.
I think also, now that I think about it, it's also when he attacks. So even you can just pick himself and he won't.
Oh yeah, that is really good too. Yeah.
Or you could use the ability, right? Choose another person, and keep them alive with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
I think you could use this in conjunction with Tama and have some like really tricky plays. Say you're going to attack with something, just bring Sabine out, and you can't break the attacking forward.
Yeah, and then not only that, but I mean it'd be an incredibly expensive turn.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use this in conjunction with Goblin to haste attack with them, and wipe the whole field, and then you could potentially, because you're attacking and you're playing him, you can keep two forwards on your field from breaking.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty powerful for sure.
Yeah.
And then our worst cards are Sage and Sage. So why do you think it's terrible?
Dude, yeah. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. You just, I mean, like, having an additional 2k damage to something is good, but not for the price you pay. You have to pay the 2 to get this out, which, I mean, it's a backup. That's pretty normal. But the fact that you have to just destroy it for such a minuscule effect, I'd much rather pay 2 for a weak summon and do more damage than this. Like, Ifrit is 4. So, like, just any other card in a fire deck could do more damage than this, pretty much. Even a lot of the weaker forwards from fire from this Opus do 1, 2, 3k damage. And you get to keep what they are. So, like, why would I trash a card when I could keep a card?
Yeah, I just think it's... I mean, 2k is nothing for a 2 cost. I mean, there's just...
much better cards out there, yeah.
Ways to access it way better. And then not only that, but you can't do it the turn you summon it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not a good card. All right, and that's our review of the Fire Opus. And thanks for watching.